All right, today we're diving into something truly massive. I'm talking about a spiritual mission that's so big it spanned decades, involved millions upon millions of repetitions of a single chant, and it's all for this incredible global vision. So let's get right into the story of the 240 million mantra mission.
And really, the heart of this whole thing, it all starts with this incredibly powerful intention right from the source. SADA ane sarvatra saunu kalyan tau. It translates to, may everyone be blessed always and everywhere. And you know, this is so much more than just a nice greeting. It's the core philosophy, the engine that drives every single thing we're going to talk about today.
Okay, so a mission this huge has to have a home, right? A starting point. Well, our story begins in a very specific and very sacred place in the city of Ahmedabad.
And here it is, the Sri SADA SHIV ashram. This is really the physical heart of the entire mission. It's located in the Motera area and was founded by a true visionary, Param Puja Swami Sri SADA Shivji. And it's not just a building, the grounds have a yagyashala, that's a hall for fire rituals, and a goshala, a cowshed, and both of these are absolutely central to the spiritual life that happens there every single day.
But you know, an ashram is so much more than just its buildings. It's really all about the purpose that fuels it. So now, let's get into the why. What is the vision that's driving this whole mission? Because let me tell you, it goes way beyond just the local community. We're talking about the entire world here.
So the core aspiration, the big goal of this decades-long effort, is for India to achieve a kind of power and self-sufficiency. But, and this is key, we're not talking about power in the way you might normally think of it. The vision is for a really unique, threefold strength.
Okay, so this whole concept is broken down into three different layers. First, you have adibhathic strength. Think of this as the physical and material well-being of the country, the tangible stuff. Then there's adidevic strength, which is a bit more subtle. It's connected to divine or natural forces. And finally, you've got adhyatmic strength, the deep, internal, spiritual power of the people. And the whole idea is to grow all three of these together in perfect harmony.
And this is a really crucial point. This goal of empowerment isn't just for one country to keep to itself. No way. The ultimate purpose, the real endgame of achieving this threefold strength is so that the nation can then help lead the entire world onto a path of well-being and harmony for everyone.
All right, so we have the place, and we have this incredibly profound vision. The big question is, how? I mean, how exactly do you even begin to work towards a goal that big? Well, that brings us to the specific spiritual practice at the very center of it all, the great Gayatri practice.
The specific method they're using is called a Mahaparashcharan. Now, what on earth is that? Well, it's a very specific, super disciplined spiritual observance. The best way to picture it is like a spiritual marathon, but an incredibly long and intense one. It's all about repeating a single mantra millions of times, and this often takes place over many, many years.
And the mantra they chose for this epic journey? It's one of the most revered, one of the most ancient in the Vedic tradition, the Gayatri Mahamantra. The entire project, every single chant, every single repetition is focused on this one powerful, sacred mantra.
Okay, and this is where the sheer scale, the timeline of this whole commitment really starts to hit you. I mean, this is not a weekend workshop. We are talking about a level of dedication that literally spans generations.
240 million. Let me say that again, 240 million, or, as it's often said, 24 crore. That is the target number of chants they have to complete for each one of these great practices. Just take a second and let that number sink in. It's staggering.
And the timeline? It's just as mind-boggling. So the first great practice kicked off way back in 1980. It took 22 years of non-stop effort to hit that 240 million mark, and they finally completed it in 2002. But they didn't stop there. In 2020, they began the second great practice, and that is the one that is still going on right now, as we speak. It's a true multi-generational mission.
So how does a task this monumental keep going, in the here and now? Let's take a look at how the practitioners, the sadhaks, at the ashram actually carried this mission forward week in and week out.
Well, they've got it broken down into a very consistent rhythm. First, there's Japatmak. That's the regular individual chanting of the mantra. Then you have Homatmak, which involves making regular offerings. And all of these individual efforts build up and come together in these collective weekly yagnas, or fire rituals, that are held every Sunday. That's when the whole community gathers to contribute to that massive grand total. And all of this really brings us to a final thought to leave you with. When you think about it, a project that's already been going for over 4 decades, aiming for hundreds of millions of mantra chants, all for the shared dream of a better world, it just makes you wonder, right? It begs this really fascinating question. What does a multi-generational spiritual project like this really tell us about the incredible, enduring power of collective belief?